Welcome to another episode of Carolina Flare Insider. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, RV Hodge, and if you can believe it or not, it is already November. So we're looking at the transom of the privateer. The lettering and the name, the artwork on the transom is really a signature of the boat. They have some stencils to give them guidelines, and then the way they apply their airbrushing techniques is pretty fascinating. So the process of this is kind of messy looking, but the end product, I can assure you, will be spectacular. As we near the end of the process on privateer, you can see we're kind of wrapped up in a clean room. That's because all of the finished processes require a lot of clean space. This tent will be replaced numerous times between now and the next few weeks when it's wrapped up. But you can see our brow trim, the finished paintwork, and the near finished paintwork that we have masked off. There's a lot that happens at the last stages, and all of it has to be super clean and tidy. Looking at the cabin trim on the privateer, you can see that we're adhering to the time-honored tradition of a varnished teak trim piece. What we call it kind of the rail, or some people call it the brow band. But we have a little bit of a difference, and that is that this is not made out of actual wood. It is painted wood. You can see by the overspray here that this is handmade. There are some advantages and disadvantages to that, but the artistic value of it is pretty spectacular. If we take a look down at the lower band, you can see where the joint of what is looking like a wood joint has been made. So instead of installing the boards one at a time, he's painting the boards one at a time. Again, back to the artistic value of the craftsman that's actually doing this. It makes a big difference, and it also makes the boat really stand out. One of the things about our boats that is always unseen because it's hidden behind everything is the wiring. And this stack of wires is for real. It looks like a daunting task, and well, I think it probably is. But you can see the wire transition going through here. There will be a major panel set up in a locker right here. And then you can see the wires running forward, and this takes us downstairs. As that wire transitions through the bulkhead into the lower section, it turns into like a city highway system. You can see overhead where our wires take separate paths, but they have to work around all the other obstacles. So everything above this wood, which is our headliner tracking, everything above that is the wiring for the boat. Now you can ignore the orange extension cords. That's our actual work wires. But those go to each individual room, each individual piece of equipment, and so on and so forth. And then there's a major distribution that comes in through that wall there, through the chaseway, and comes into the panel here. And that is where the termination gets made, and that's where it gets hooked up to circuits, breakers, etc. You can see the door trim going on into the lower stateroom here, and that is being clamped and glued into place. Anywhere that we possibly can, we do not use metal fasteners. Everything is put on with glue and clamps. Obviously, there are some places where there's no way around it, and the tiny pin nail is the only way to make it happen. It's another level up of craftsmanship, and it's something that we take pride in. One of the things we do here at Jarrett Bay that is really critical is we do repowers of other boats. Sometimes they're of our older boats, sometimes they're of other manufacturers. So we're looking at Indigo here. It's a 61-foot Buddy Davis. It came from British Virgin Islands. It was damaged in Hurricane Irma. We had a good relationship with the customer, and he sent the boat back here to have some extensive repairs, updates, including this engine replacement. So in order to get the old motor out and the new motor in to the boat, they have to cut away a portion of the cabin, a portion of the bib that you can see in the back end. They've cut a notch there. All of that will have to be re-healed up. The reason for that is it's a luxury boat. And part of a luxury boat is they want luxury in every part of the boat, including over where the engines are. So the access to the motors are really crowded in. One of the key factors in this whole operation is the guy giving the hand signals to the crane operator. That could be the difference between somebody getting hurt or not. It can be the difference between destroying the boat or not touching it or doing any scraping. Threading the needle with big equipment and a 7,000 or 8,000 pound motor is always quite a trick. You can see the guys look pretty relaxed. They've done this a lot of times. They're not worried. Thank you for joining us with this episode of Carolina Flare Insider. On behalf of Jarrett Bay, I would like to extend a wishes to you for a happy Thanksgiving.